What's going on, guys? Back again. We are once again in central Minnesota, about 40 miles south of Alexandria. Another overcast day. I actually just got some rain on the way here, but we're thinking it's gonna be a crankbait day. Really hoping so. It's still, the wind's really whipping out here. It's been kind of the same weather for the past couple days, which is kind of good, but it's still really warm for this time of the year. We're gonna get out there, see if we can get them going on crankbaits. If we can't get them going on crankbaits, we might have to resort to a jig bite, but let's see what we can do. Okay, we're there. So we just got back in from taking a little break. We had like a line of thunderstorms coming through, so we just pulled the boat up on shore and hopped in the truck. Water, or the air temp, dropped probably 15 to 20 degrees in about 15 minutes. It is now freezing out here, and the wind's still going at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, but it switched from the south to like the west, northwest, so a complete opposite direction. It was blowing into my face before, now it's going that way, so yeah. There, you got a fish. Oh, yep. Damn, he jumped and kicked it. Wasn't very big. Could have swore it was a walleye. Finally, like a wet towel. So I said, I think I got a fish. There's one. Woo! Running at the boat. There we go. There we go. Stop. About 2 3/4. So one of the main keys to crankbait fishing, it isn't just hucking it out there and winding it in like a lot of people might think it is. It's actually kind of an art form to it. And I would say the biggest thing is, oh, there's another one. Another one, hit spot lock. Straight at the access. Cast. Ain't very big. So, as I was saying, it isn't about chucking it out there and winding it back in, like a lot of people think. Definitely an art form. Depending on where you're fishing in the country. Down south, I know there's a lot of lakes that don't have much for grass. Up here in the north, we have, majority of our lakes have grass. And the problem that really deters a lot of people from fishing crankbaits all the time is you want to be getting in those weeds, you want to be touching those weeds, you want to be getting stuck in them. You got to be ripping weeds off every couple casts, or you're not really getting in the strike zone. And it can just really be a pain in the butt. So that's one big thing. Next big thing is varied retrieve, doing little pauses. Kind of like almost like fishing a jerkbait. There's a little bit of a cadence to it almost. A lot of times you're gonna get a fish following you, and you do that pause, and he's basically just gonna run into it and just smash the thing. And there's nothing he can do to stop himself from hitting it. So you get a lot of reaction bites like that. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can't help it. You just get into the weeds. These weeds are kind of dying off. It's not gonna be holding a ton of fish, but there's still a couple nice green pieces in there. But you gotta get into the weeds. You gotta be ripping it off. You gotta be doing this every couple casts. It's a pain, but when you start sticking nice fish and you start sticking numbers, it all becomes worth it. And you just gotta have a lot of patience with it. Weeds, weeds, more weeds. Another thing, when you're using especially these wooden crankbaits, you get weeds, don't start smacking them on the water. That's how you crack bills, that's how you break bills, and you're just gonna be spending more money on crankbaits. Or, worst case scenario, you get a nice one on, and you've already kind of fractured that blade, and it snaps off, and all you basically pulling is a bill. I've seen that happen before from people that slap their crankbaits too much. There you go. I think I had one just swing and a miss right after you set the hook on that one. Not bad. It's a start for you. Bite's definitely gonna be getting tougher now that it got cold, I think, here. That front going through.
The right color, but the wrong size.
Oh! You can see him way out there. Oh yeah, it looks a little nicer. Get in the boat! There we go. Ooh, just that back hook. Ooh! Nice!
That's a 3-pounder.
Nice! Nice fish.
Nice fish.
What is going on up here?
Snake. Get him in here.
Woo!
Long discontinued. The key is no rattle, silent. It's a pose. The bigger ones are the 400s, and I'm not quite sure what the number on this one is, but it's still a pose.
Here's one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, that's a pose 400. Like I said, no rattle.
Little custom paint job on them, so that's the cool thing. You can go out and you can find them on various forums and whatnot, and get whatever color they're selling and paint it up yourself. It ain't hard. I mean, if you guys really want, I can do a video on it. Another fish. Wow. You just get a color that you like and that you do well with, and you can paint anything you want.
Another northern. We found the northern.
Yeah. About time to get out of here before we start losing these. Oh. So when I'm throwing crankbaits, I try to visualize where the weed line is, and you want to throw as parallel to the weed line as you possibly can. So imagine this weed line follows the shoreline almost exactly the same. Exact same distance, doesn't really have any points or corners or dips or anything in it. So instead of throwing directly 90 degrees right at the shore, you want to angle it out to 25 degrees out a little bit. So you're still casting in, but you're casting more parallel with the weed line. And the main reason you want to be doing that is, if you think about it, when you're throwing in directly 90 degrees, there's a very short window where your bait's actually in the strike zone. And say 80% of the cast is probably completely wasted, where you're not down touching weeds, making contact with bottom or anything like that, where the fish are actually living. And when we angle it, you get a lot more time in the strike zone and a lot higher probability that you're gonna get a bite. There's one. Doesn't feel very big.
Double. Northern killer here.
This one's the right species.
Nice fish.
Whoa! You found my sea legs. You got a pike up there. Almost a true double.
Hand me a plier, please. Thank you.
Forgot to mention to you guys, I like running snaps on my crankbaits. One, when you're crankbait fishing, a lot of times you're going to be switching out a lot until you find that color or that model that's got the certain wobble that they're looking for on that particular day. It does take a little bit of that some days. Another reason, it gives the bait a little bit different action. Super subtle, the difference, but there definitely is a difference. So it's more free floating in the water when it's doing its wobble, and I think it does get you at least a bite or two more a day. Not saying you have to do that, but I don't throw a crankbait without one, so. There's one, little guy. Ooh, he feels a little bigger now. Hard to tell. Doing some good head pumps. Snake. On the back hook. Perfect. Gotta love it when them pike hit on the back hook. No chance of losing your bait.